Hey everyone, this is Collins and Diara.
Hey there.
Hey, so for today's video, we're going to be talking about our cruise experiences. So we went on two different cruises. One was Royal Caribbean, and the other one was Carnival. And we just wanted to give you guys an insight of both of the experiences that we went through for both of the ships. So first of all, we're going to discuss the boarding process. So for the boarding process for Carnival, I would say it was a bit more not as streamlined as versus to Royal Caribbean had a bit more of a faster process. All they did was scan your face and then check your passport, and that was pretty much it. Versus Caribbean, it felt like it took a little bit longer. Would you say it was a bit more disorganized?
I just cannot remember how it was for Carnival. I just know that Royal, it just seems so fast. Like, you don't even have to really do too much. Like, and then the other thing about it was just how nice the actual like port was that we left from for Royal. So I feel like Carnival, I don't even remember. So we went on the first cruise last summer, and then we just came back from this cruise on Royal Caribbean just last week.
That's sweet.
So it's a little bit hard for me to remember.
So if you were to say who had a better boarding process, was it Carnival or Royal?
It was Royal.
I agree. I think Royal had a better boarding process. So in terms of the ship appearance, we went on the Carnival ship Freedom, and the Royal Caribbean was the Mariner of the Seas. What do you think about the ship's appearance?
So with Carnival, there was an accident that happened, and so the top of the ship, there was like a piece of it was burned off, and it just didn't look very appealing on Carnival.
They'll get it out.
But it didn't hurt anything with the ship. But as far as just the appearance of it, as far as both ships to me were very similar. Like as far as the appearance, I mean, it wasn't that much of a difference to me. However, that burnt top of the ship, that the fact that they didn't think that it was important enough to like fix it, it just seemed a little bit like they didn't care about it. So to me, I would vote for Royal, given that piece of it.
I would agree with you. The ship that we stayed on was Carnival Freedom, and pieces of it look kind of dated. Looks like they could have taken their time to update it, especially for that burnt piece at the top of the ship. Carnival, you have enough money. You guys could have fixed that that fin by now. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But Royal Caribbean, the aesthetics of that ship was very clean. Looked very like new age. So I would give it to Royal Caribbean in terms of ship appearance.
Yeah.
And so as far as the rooms, we both for both Carnival and Royal, we had a room that had a balcony. In my personal opinion, I think that the Royal Caribbean room was a bit more, the way it was structured is a bit more spacious. I like the way it was set up. We had I think it was like a queen size bed for both, right?
It's basically like two twin beds put together.
Yeah. And for the Royal Caribbean, it had like a couch that you can kind of pull out and kind of turn into like its own type of bed. For Carnival, I don't remember the couch being that accessible for sleeping on. But if I had to go with it, I would go with the Royal Caribbean in terms of the room.
I would say for me, the room was bigger, a little bit bigger. However, the storage space, I felt like Carnival had way more storage space than Royal Caribbean. And even like on the couch, like you can pull drawers out and like actually store things. And I do travel pretty heavy. So I have a lot of stuff, and I felt like we were able to get everything, stored properly on Carnival. I felt like Royal, I was still able to store everything. Like you can also put your suitcase under the bed, which was great. But I did feel that there was a little bit more space on Royal as far as like moving around.
Yeah.
But I thought Carnival did a nice job with just the amount of storage. The other thing is in the rooms, the bathroom. So the bathrooms in both are very small and tight. However, I did like the fact that Royal Caribbean, you actually have like a shower door where it closes, whereas on on Carnival, there is a shower curtain. So there was a lot of water that would get on the floor versus on Royal, you didn't have to worry about that as much. I will say the sink was a little cracked. I don't know if you noticed that.
For which one, Royal or Carnival?
Royal.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
It was like old, dated, cracked. They looked like they could have done something with that. But with that just being kind of the only issue, I would take that over just that shower curtain. So overall, for the room and the bathroom and the storage, all together, I would go with Royal.
Good. In terms of cruise staff, what did you think of the cruise staff?
So I thought our attendant, the person that was helping us with our room, Andrew, I thought he was great. I liked him a lot.
For Royal?
For Royal.
Okay.
I don't remember the person that we had for Carnival. That was
I don't remember Carnival, no.
It wasn't memorable too, so maybe that says something too. But as far as the actual like fun of the ship, I remember on Carnival the cruise director.
Yes.
Andy.
Andy. Yeah.
Like he made the cruise very fun, and he was always out like announcements. Like we heard a lot of what was going on with the ship. Like he said where he was gonna be. We pulled up. We had a great time. This ship is not really known for that. I would say it was more. There wasn't a lot going on. I mean, they did share like some of the different things that were going on.
Yeah.
But I did not feel that connection to the cruise director that I did on Carnival.
So would you prefer? So for the cruise.
The staff, I would go with Carnival.
Carnival.
Yeah.
In terms of the cruise staff, I feel that the cruise staff was a bit more joyous on Carnival. They seem to have a lot of stuff like going on. Royal, I mean, the customer service for Royal was excellent as well. But in terms of like just having things to do, their Carnival is really on top of things in terms of letting you know what was going on, recommending things for you to do throughout our course. So for Carnival, we did like a 4-day cruise, and Royal was like what, 5 days?
5 days.
So they let us know, like Carnival was like, yo, we got this going on. Even though you have it on your app for both cruises. Carnival will let you know that, hey, you might want to check this out. We have this, like, we have karaoke, we have comedy show going on. And on top of that, it was really organized in terms of Annie, the cruise director. In terms of Royal Caribbean, they didn't really have like a centralized person to kind of guide you. But I would say that the customer service was really excellent for both. But if I had to choose, I would go with Carnival in terms of the cruise staff.
And I will say there was an announcement happening throughout the cruise ship on Royal, and we were not able to dial in to the channel that was playing on the announcement, so that was maybe a miss. But overall, the feeling that we had just from being connected to the staff, I would say more so on Carnival.
Yeah. In terms of the drink packages, so you have 3 different drink packages for each cruise ship. So you have like the regular soda, and then you have a bit more of a secondary package where you have like coffee and some of the specialty drinks with no alcohol. Then you have the alcoholic drink package for both cruises. My personal opinion, I think I preferred the Carnivals because in terms of this pricing, it was a bit more affordable for our budget. But what did you think about for the drink packages?
So for the Carnival cruise, I ended up getting the bottomless soda package. I don't drink alcohol, so it's really not a big deal to me. But on Royal, I decided to go with the refreshment package, which included coffee, pretty much anything, water, bottled water, mocktails, and things like that. I enjoyed it. Like if I went back on Royal Caribbean, I would get that one again. I thought it was good. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was $39 per day for that drink package. So you pay that amount and you don't have to worry about paying anything. The one thing I will say with the drink package on Carnival versus Royal, anytime you get a drink, and again, I got the sodas, so I'm asking for, just give me a Coke, please. They would give me a receipt and expect me to give a tip in addition to, like, I had already paid for the package, but they would give me a receipt to have me sign for my soda. And of course, when I get a receipt like that, I'm gonna tip people. Like, I love tipping people, so I'm probably, like, I gave them a tip anyway. But with Royal Caribbean, if I ordered something, they didn't even give me a receipt to sign anything, because in my mind they were saying, like, you already paid, you don't have to sign anything.
That's a good
We
point.
got you.
Yep.
So that was the only difference, but it was a significantly more expensive package, because on Royal Caribbean it was $39. Carnival, the soda package is like $9.95 a day, so it was a lot more.
Food and drinks. So for Carnival, I prefer the food and drinks at Carnival because I don't really eat cereal throughout the year, but they had so many different types of cereal for breakfast. I mean, they had Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms on Carnival, and I tore that cereal up. On top of that, they have all these the pastries that they had at Carnival were a bit more moist in terms of, like, the danishes and the muffins and the cakes. I mean, the cakes were just off the chain. So that's what I was really looking for, because I don't really eat a lot of sweets throughout the year. So usually when I go on vacation, I have a sweet tooth and I just tear that thing up. Compared to Royal Caribbean, they had some of the cereals, but it was like Kellogg's, Cheerios with no sweetener, Raisin Bran. It felt like the cereal was made for, like, the baby boomers, and I was not pleased with that. In terms of the pastries, it was okay. For, like, the lunch and the dinner, it was decent, but it felt a bit more processed compared to Carnival. So I would say I prefer the Carnival food in terms of, like, the chicken and the beef that they had in there as well. So you have, like, the main hall for both cruises, where it's like a buffet, and then you also have, like, a dining area where they serve you the food as well. So I prefer the food in Carnival versus Royal Caribbean. What do you think?
So the thing is, I felt like the dinner menus they had a lot of variety. Every night they had, like, a different theme, which I thought was really nice. Both cruise ships also have opportunities if you wanted to spend a little bit more money to go to other restaurants that you have to just pay extra for. So, I mean, I love food and, like, the food experience for me on vacation, like, is a big deal. I did order, like, the filet mignon with lobster one of the days, and that was an extra charge, but it was really good.
On Royal?
Yeah, on Royal.
Okay.
I felt like the dinner experience was a little bit elevated. It was more elevated than the Carnival experience. As far as the buffet, the food was better on Carnival. So just overall, I mean, I wasn't wowed by the food. It wasn't, I mean, I wouldn't go back just because of the food. Like, it wouldn't be that for either one for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excursions. What do you think about the excursion?
So the excursions, so on Carnival, we did the swimming pigs. That was fun. I like that. Like the shallow water, just being with the pigs. That was cool. And I had actually done that before. So that was my second time doing the swimming pigs. I like that. And just hanging out, chilling out by the beach. That was nice. I like that a lot. On Royal Caribbean, we chose one of the excursions where we were just outside right in the sun. It was nice to see the ruins. We saw like the Mayan ruins, different pyramids or whatever. So that was nice, but it was just very hot. And I was like, maybe we should have done something by the water. That might have been a little better. And then the second day, I know Collins, you got sick, so we had the excursion to go for the dolphins and swimming with the dolphins, which I was a little bit nervous about that one. But I went ahead and did it anyway. And I think I like that better than the being in the heat in the sun. But overall, I think the carnival excursions were better. But with the excursions, like, that's on us. Like, you pick what you want to do. So I wouldn't put that on Carnival or Royal. I mean, they had some pretty good options. It really just depends on what you like and what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But I think those are comparable to me from both.
Yeah, I would say the excursions for Carnival I like the one on Carnival a bit more. Like DR was saying, the pig, playing with the pigs and feeding them, that was really fun.
Yeah.
And then on the other one that we had, it was like we had the boat bike. It was like a bike that you had to ride on the water. That one kind of extraneous.
Yeah.
But the good thing was they had food for us ready after we finished doing all that. So I tore those burgers up.
Yeah.
But for the Royal Caribbean excursion, we went to the Mayan temples, not the temples, what do they call it? The pyramids, sorry. Mm-hmm. The pyramids. And that was interesting, but it was really hot and not a lot of water. So I was kind of exhausted from doing that. And then I got sick the next day, so I didn't get to play with the dolphins. So I was like what the RO was saying, like kind of pick the ones that you like, but I did like the carnivals excursions.
And you picked the dolphins.
I picked the dolphins. That's the one I really wanted to do.
That's the one he picked, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I really want to do the dolphins because I used to watch Flipper back in the '90s.
Okay, gotcha.
So I want to see that one.
Awesome.
The music and the nightclubs. What did you think?
Carnival Cruise Line, great job. Royal Caribbean, do better. It just wasn't like a diverse mix of music on Royal Caribbean. I felt like it was catered toward a different demographic, and it wasn't enough like mixture in the music choices. Yeah. But Carnival did a nice job, and it was really, it gave you the atmosphere of like you didn't even feel like you were on a cruise ship. Like, you really felt like you were in a club and enjoying yourself. And they did request songs. I mean, they did the request for my birthday on Royal Caribbean. And then even on Carnival, we got our request songs in. But the actual, like, song list on Carnival was pretty good.
I would say, yeah. So, like, for Carnival, like, as soon as you get up to the boat, they were jamming music. Like, you can hear the music just playing. Mm-hmm. It felt like a party on Carnival. They had like different events. Like they had that you were by the pool and they had like a dance off, and the DJ was playing these different songs for the contestants, and it was really funny. So I did like that. And then also on Carnival, so when you get to the nightclub, you can make a request for the songs. I felt that the DJ played your request faster at Carnival versus Royal, because we went for her birthday on Royal, and I made a request for a song for her birthday, and it took like, it felt like 30 to 30.
It was an hour.
It was an hour?
Yeah.
It was like ridiculously long. So much so I had to follow up with the DJ. It's like, hey, when are you gonna play this song? And he was like, oh, I'll play it at midnight. I was like, my man.
Because the club started at 11.
Right.
That's why I knew it was an hour.
And I was like, my man, we kind of tired. We're not young, we're not old, but we at a certain point. We tired. So I felt like the music was a bit more better on Carnival. Yeah. Pools.
I feel like the pools were about the same for me on both. We did get in the jacuzzi on Royal Caribbean, and we didn't do that on Carnival. And I like that. I mean, I like the jacuzzi. That's one of my favorite things. So that was nice. But as far as like the setup, the pools, they looked about the same.
I would agree. I think it was even for both. You can't go wrong with the pools. I mean, they have like the larger pools. They have all these jacuzzis. You also have like the pools, all the slides you can do. They have like this wave runner on both, where you like they simulated like a wave. You get on your surfboard and get on the wave. So they have that for both. So I would say it's about a tie for the pools. Main promenade area. I liked Royal Caribbean a bit more. It felt a bit more organized. It felt a bit more. It felt like a mall, like you're heading into a mall to go shop. It had a bit more of a glitz and glamour versus Carnival. From what I remember, it felt that promenade area, which would be the main area of the cruise ship, felt kind of small, in my personal opinion. But I would say I like Royals a bit more.
And what I liked about Carnival's promenade is that they actually had events and different things to do at the promenade. So it was like, meet us down at the promenade for whatever events they were having. So we had a reason to go to the promenade. Versus on Royal, they had a lot of food places. The ice cream was there. They had a little pizza spot. So a lot of people did gather there. That's where we watched the basketball game from right off of the sports bar they had there. So I feel like, yes, it was a lot longer, a lot more kind of like food oriented places on the promenade. But as far as Carnival, I remember like you were a part of one of the dancing, like that dance off thing down there. Andy got on the bar and was like dancing and everything. So I just remember having a lot of fun on Carnival in the promenade, but on the Royal Caribbean, it was more so just like eating.
So for the gym, steam room, and sauna, which one did you like?
So I actually worked out, like I didn't work out on Royal Caribbean, I worked out on Carnival, and I really did think it was a really nice gym. I used the sauna as well. This time I did not really partake in that. I did get a massage though, so I had to go back down to that area to kind of, do that. So the massage was okay. Just from my recollection of that, I would say Carnival. I liked Carnival better.
Okay. For me, I preferred Royal Caribbean, and the reason why, I felt that the gym was a bit more spacious compared to Carnival. Also, the steam room. So the one on Carnival, every time you hit that steam room button, it will run, but for like 5 to 7 minutes. So you had to come back out and hit it again. But with the one on Royal Caribbean, that steam room, it was hitting like continuously, like it was going. So you didn't have to go run back out and hit the button, which I did like. The sauna was felt a bit more cleaner on the Royal Caribbean compared to Carnival. But I would say Royal Caribbean had a better steam room, sauna, gym.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the events, comedy, what would you like?
It was Carnival for me. Except I will say on the comedy, I was not really impressed by the comedians on Carnival. I thought that a lot of the jokes were very distasteful. I did not laugh a lot on Carnival. We had, how many comedians? Was it like two or three?
There were 2 comedians on Carnival.
Okay, so both of them, I did not find them very funny. But we went to, because there's different levels, like you can do family where they keep it a little bit more clean, or then, late night. I think we did like the late night, so that it was very distasteful. I did not like it. And then on Royal Caribbean, I laughed a few times from some of the jokes that the one comedian gave. And then the ventriloquist was also kind of a comedian as well, and I thought he was funny. So I would say from the comedian side of things, Royal Caribbean was better to me than Carnival. But overall entertainment and overall just the fun and like how we felt about it, I felt Carnival was better. It was just the comedy was not. It didn't hit the mark for me.
What do you think about the karaoke? Did you like the karaoke? They did karaoke in
The
both.
karaoke was good. We didn't really stay for the karaoke on Carnival. Like, we went to the karaoke, and it was just very cold. I remember this.
Yeah, it was cold.
Very
it was cold
in the room, so we did not go back. Like, so we really didn't experience karaoke. The second time when we went for Royal Caribbean, Collins performed. I did not perform because I just don't like performing in front of a lot of people. And on top of it, I was just getting over a cold. So I didn't feel that I was prepared enough. But I will say they had some other like game show type events. Those were really funny. Having the people doing different dances, and they did a lot of group activities.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was great, and I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say for me, I prefer the events on Carnival because they had different like interesting events. So for example, they had an event where we had to pretend that we were like in a music group, like the Five Heartbeats, and we had to perform the dance moves, which was interesting. And we all had to coordinate to do all that. To Diara's point, for like in terms of comedy, I would say the Royal Caribbean comedy was much more better. Like the setting, the auditorium, the theater, yes, was more spacious and a bit more accommodating. The rows where the service and walk through was a bit more better, and I felt a bit more finished. In terms of the karaoke, I did like Royal Caribbean, but the atmosphere of like fun, I would say Carnival. Yeah, for sure. Guest services, fees, internet. You want me to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Royal Caribbean just charged quite a bit. I felt like it was way more expensive than Carnival. I don't remember the exact fees by fee. Like, I would have to get my bill out and compare it. But I know that we also had an additional day on the water. So it was 4 days versus 5 days. But as far as, when it came to the cost of massage, internet, the drink package, just adding all of that up, I feel like some coins were spent. And on Carnival, I mean, it was also, they had some fees as well, but I felt like Royal was way more expensive.
I would say for Royal Caribbean, I felt that the guest services was a bit more efficient because on Carnival, I saw some additional charges that I did not ask for, so I had to go to guest services to follow up with them and see what was going on with them. And they told me, hey, we add these charges on just in case you want to help out, pay for the gratuity for some of the people who are working in your rooms or so. So for me personally, I would like to have known ahead of time, so hey, this is what we might do.
Right.
Royal Caribbean was like, hey, okay, this is what the charges are. Boom.
So Royal Caribbean, you pay it on the front end.
Okay, so what it was? Okay.
It was paid on the front end.
That's fine. I don't like surprises when it comes to these bills, so you let me know up front. So I prefer Royal Caribbean, to let me know what was going on for that. And the last thing we have is disembarking, leaving the ship. I would say Royal Caribbean, that thing was like efficient, like smooth out the door. All we did was they didn't even check our passport. All they did was scan our face, and then we were out the door.
Yeah,
that was it.
And I would say too, like, it's a difference between if you have your passport or if you just have your birth certificate. Because the first time we went through with Carnival, we had a birth certificate. We stood in that line, and it was a longer line. But even looking at the line for the birth certificate on Royal, it was shorter. Just the process in the line was way shorter on Royal. So if you want to get in and out, like from when you enter to when you exit, Royal was faster.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know what you think for Royal Caribbean or Carnival. If you've been on a cruise, let us know what you think. I would say both companies did a really good job in terms of like customer service, atmosphere, making you feel welcome on the ship as well. But yeah, let us know what you think. Please be sure to leave a comment at the bottom of our channel, and just please like, share, and subscribe. And we greatly appreciate you guys watching this video. And we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
All right, take care.